We're going to discuss today the second bracha of Bרכhat Hamazon. What our obligations within benching with Eiraisa to thank Hashem for the food, for Eretz Yisrael, and for Yerushalayim. And that is the topic of the three brachas, the first three brachas of Bרכhat Hamazon. The second bracha, Yeshua ben Nun, it says, wrote in Nusach HaBracha. We have it from Yeshua ben Nun. And what does he say? Noidu l'cha Hashem Elokeinu. Eretz Chemdah, Toiva, ורחבה. When we talk about thanking Rebbeinu Shalom for Eretz Yisrael, there are three terms we use to thank Hashem when we talk about how great Eretz Yisrael is. It's a land, it's an Eretz that's Chemdah, Toiva, and ורחבה. So today we're going to discuss what are these three things of Chemdah, Toiva, and ורחבה that was talking about the greatness of Eretz Yisrael. And it's important to note that these three terms are so important that the Gemara Brachas tells us that Tanya Rabbi Eliezer Aimer, Kol Shaloi Omar Eretz Chemdah Toiva ורחבה. We know that if you miss a word here or there in benching, generally speaking, one would not be mechuyev to repeat the whole Bרכhat Hamazon as long as the ikr, the main parts of the bracha, are recited. And Rabbi Eliezer tells us that if you miss Eretz, Chemdah, Toiva, ורחבה, these three important terms, one has not fulfilled his obligation. So what are these three terms? So if we look in the Rebbeinu Yoina tells us that these terms are not terms that were made up by Yeshua. These terms already are in the Torah and the Nevi'im. Meaning that in Parshas Shemos, when Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu about going to Eretz Yisrael, he calls it Eretz Toiva ורחבה. So Hashem uses those words, Eretz Toiva ורחבה. And we find in Yirmiyah, Ve'etein lecha Eretz Chemdah nachlas tzvi. I'm going to give you, Hashem says, in Eretz Chemdah. So Chemdah, Toiva, and ורחבה are nuschayos that were used by the Rebbeinu Shalom in referring to the beauty, the goodness of Eretz Yisrael. So what are these three? So let's start with the first one, Chemdah. So what does the word Chemdah mean? So we know the first time it's used is Eitz Nechmad L'Mara. When the Torah talks about the Eitz Hadas, it was Chemed to look at it. Right? We know there's an Isra of Leisachmoid. Right? So Chemed means to desire something. You desire it. It's a land that's desirable. People want the land. The Medrash Rabbah Mishpatim gives us three pshatim in what it means that Eretz Yisrael was Chemdah. Number one, it was desired because the Beis Hamikdash is there. Number two, it says all the Malachim, when Hashem promised Avraham Avinu Eretz Yisrael, all the other kings were jealous. It's a desired land. It's a land that causes others to be jealous and want it. Number three, the Medrash tells us, the Avos all wanted it. Hashem promised them you're going to get Eretz Yisrael. Why? It was a desired land. And Chemed means it's desired. It's wanted. It's funny, the Shibali Aleket says that when Yeshua ben Nun wrote the word Chemdah into benching, why did he put the Nusach of Chemdah? Because who was Yeshua ben Nun's Rebbe? Yeshua ben Nun's Rebbe was Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, what was he mispal for? That Hashem told him he has to stop going into Eretz Yisrael. So Yeshua ben Nun saw that this is a land that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't desire it because of himself, but because of all the mitzvahs. There's so much to Eretz Yisrael. It's a land that's desired. So it's a desirable land. Everybody wanted it. Why did they want it? So the next term we use is Toiva. It's a good land. Right? And the Maral points out very, very simply, sometimes we desire something, or sometimes we want something, but it's not inherently good, and it's not good for us. So, but Eretz Yisrael was Toiva. Eretz Yisrael was good. We just said in our Kinnis, Piryech lemarpe v'chol olasala, and Kinul Lamed Zayin, right, that your fruit had healing power, right? And every leaf had a cure in it. right? Eretz Yisrael as an Eretz Zavas Cholav Udvash. It is a good land. Not just they desired something because they desired it. Sometimes they say in English, be careful, you pray for, you might just get it. Not just that it's a desirable land, but it's desirable for its inherent goodness that it really has in it. It's really good. Eretz Yisrael has so much good in it. ורחבה. What does the word ורחב mean? So we know ורחבה is a width, right? Now the first two places in the Torah where we see the word ורחב is where? So Yitzchak, when he dug his be'er, the final be'er that he dug, that nobody filled back up, it says V'kara Shmai Rechayvos. He called that Rechayvos. Why? And he said Ki ata hirchiv Hashem lanu farinu. Right? And now Hashem's gonna, right, seeing that this be'er could be there, he knew this is a place where he could widen, where he could spread out. Right? And we see also in V'zayis HaBracha, Baruch Marchiv God, the term Marchiv. Right? The Chaim says that God had a lot of nechasim. God had a lot of sheep. He wanted a big open land, right? So he could pasture, his sheep could pasture, right? So Rachav means there's abundance. So not only is Eretz Yisrael chemed, that it's desired, not only is it toiv, that it's good, but it is an abundance of good. It's not just you'll find some good here and some good there, but it's full, it's abundant. There's an abundance of good in Eretz Yisrael, and that's what we're saying, Eretz Chemdah, Toiva, ורחבה.